Alright, so we are taking a look this time at the Tobe Hooper classic, The Funhouse from 1981. Anyone else think Buzz looks like a discount Mark Wahlberg? Just say it. Just say it. So this movie has a kind of a connection in a way. It's very similar to the recent other movie I reviewed for Tubi Tuesday. By the way, if you're wondering, hey, Scotty, your Tubi Tuesday video you uploaded a few hours ago, where was the theme song? I forgot it was Tubi Tuesday till after I went to upload it. I was like, shit, this is Tubi Tuesday. I messed up. My bad. But here we are. So I did House of the Devil. And this has something very similar to that, where not a lot really happens. I mean, there's more that goes on through most of the film. Not more than just sitting around and goofing. But the main plot, like if you look at the plot of the synopsis of this film, it would say 4 teens lock themselves in a carnival funhouse for the night, and they are attacked by a masked slasher. That does not happen till maybe an hour into the film. This gets going. Maybe like, I don't know, about 35 minutes, that's when they say, hey, let's hide in the funhouse. And it's another 10 minutes before they just kick off. So about 45 minutes is then you get the whole premise actually going, what it says. But before this, it kind of dolls around. But unlike House of the Devil, you like the characters now. There's more than just one character. You got other characters in there interacting, and it's fun. It's fun. So let's sit down and talk about the funhouse here. So yeah, I think the biggest problem with this movie is that the main premise doesn't kick off until about 45 minutes in. We start off with something that's very much ripping off or paying homage to Halloween. Either one, take your pick. Where you have this girl in the shower. Yes, it's also Psycho. Our main girl in the shower, you see her naked. She's 19. The actress was 19. So, yeah, and it's like someone in a mask coming in, and it's a fake prop knife, and he's her little brother, which, why? You just now saw your sister naked. Kind of weird. Isn't it? But, yeah, and he said, oh, I'll get you back for this. You don't know where, you don't know how, but I'll get you back. And then she's going to go to this carnival with her new boyfriend, Buzz, who I said this is Amy, our main character. And she's going to the carnival with her boyfriend, Buzz. And I was looking at Buzz, and I'm like, he's discount Mark Wahlberg, and they're supposed to be teenagers. The actor who played Buzz, Cooper Huckabee, that is his real name, was 30 years old when he did this film. Teenagers. The other two were closer to her age. The other two characters being Liz and her boyfriend, Richie. And they're going to the carnival. They're smoking weed, because it's the 80s horror films. And they go to the carnival, and somehow Joey, the brother, is able to walk there himself. And then we kind of travel around looking at the carnival stuff. We get to look at the carnival. They meet this fortune teller who, you know, because the other three can't stop laughing their asses off because they just smoked weed before they went in. She doesn't think they're taking it seriously, so she kicks them out. You come back here and I'll kick your ass, you know. And then we see throughout the film there's this person in a Frankenstein mask. My problem was I was waiting for the person in the clown mask that's on the cover of this in logo and stuff. I'm like, where's the clown? If you're thinking that's going to be the killer in this, it's not. They go way out. Way away from that. I don't know why that's on the cover and everything, but like, yeah, there's no killer clown in this. It's the person in the person in the Frankenstein monster. And you get to see all like freak show things like a cow with 2 heads and shit. It's pretty cool. But they're kind of just dawdling around looking at the exhibits, and you kind of go back and forth between them. Joey, Joey doesn't really go anywhere. You think he's gonna tell the adults that the sister is there, but he never does. And I really don't understand why. So here they're going around, and here 45 minutes in, it's 35 minutes in at first, where the Richie says, "Hey, why don't we stay in the Funhouse? We could stay in there." I don't know why, but they decide to stay there, right? So they go in the Funhouse and they decide to stay there. Everything closes down, and there's another 10 minutes before stuff really kicks off. They witness the Frankenstein monster guy with the fortune teller, and he gives her $100 to, get his rocks off. He prematurely arrives, and then he wants his money back. She won't give it back, so he strangles her to death. And they witness this. Because dumbass Richie drops his lighter, the Carney owner, who plays several other Barkers there too, figures out there's someone else there, and now they're witnesses, so they're all going to die. And this is where it really kicks off 10 minutes after this, so 45 minutes. This is where everything kicks off, and we're going on to this premise that you promised us at the beginning of the movie, only 45 minutes into the film, with 45 minutes left. And so yeah, now we got this thing. We get the reveal of this creature. It's not just a Frankenstein underneath. He's this weird looking gray creature thing that I remember thinking was a vampire. But it's not. No. I don't know what it is. It's the Carney owner's son. But there's no explanation as to where he came from, why he looks like that, nothing. And just out of nowhere, Richie gets hung. I'm not saying hanged. It doesn't sound right. He gets hung with a rope from where, I don't know. Was it the monster? I don't know. He gets hung, and they put his body in the car, in the little car thing, the roller coaster thing. The Funhouse is actually a dark ride where you go through, you put it on there and go through. And this causes Liz, his girlfriend, to freak out and fall through a trapdoor. She then encounters the monster, who she tries to tempt with sex, but she ends up dead anyway, and we're down to the last two, Amy and, not Mark Wahlberg, Buzz. And they are approached by the Carney guy, who tells them, it's about family. And I'm like, oh, this takes Jason Metzger. That's all his family. It's about family. And they're like, oh, he's a monster. Oh, families are different, And he gets impaled on this spike by Buzz. And they're like, okay, you thinking, let's get out of here. There are several times they could just try to get out of there. But, they show you that the way they came in is blocked off, but you could easily break that. It's at some point before this, that Joey's parents come to get him because now the Carneys find him. And instead of telling them, hey, Amy's in there, he looks at it. Here's what she said earlier about getting him back. So there's two things you could think of here. Either he thinks this is her getting him back, or because she threatened him, he decides, screw her, let her suffer. I don't know, but she tries to yell. For some reason, they can't hear her over this giant fan, which is maybe realistic. I don't know. But, yeah, her and Buzz are the only ones left. So, like I said, they could try to get out, but he says, oh, maybe the Carney guy has some keys, which is sort of smart, but the guy's not completely idiot, so he grabs him, tries to pull Buzz onto this skewer thing that he's, kebabbed on, and he's able to break free, but then Monster comes in, sees this, and the Monster ends up killing Buzz, and then we have a showdown that is just Amy electrocuting Monster while her mouth hangs open, and then she comes out, and we get this old lady who we seen earlier in the bathroom when she and Liz were in the bathroom. So they, God is watching you. And then she is shown later too. And then at the end here, but she's not connected to any of this at all. So I don't understand why she keeps showing up. But the movie ends here with no wraparound, which I thought the brother would play more into. What was the point of the brother being there if he wasn't going to help? Doesn't make much sense to me. I mean, you could, if she had died in that funhouse as a result of him not telling the parents, that would be one thing. But it just doesn't make any sense to me why he was there. And, like, this is very Tobe Hooper, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There's no background music most of the time. Just a lot of, sounds. It was fine. I'm gonna give it a middle of the road because I didn't particularly care for it. I like the stuff with the characters getting together and hanging out at the beginning, but as I was sitting there watching it, going, "When is this gonna start? What's our premise? Where are they gonna get to the fun house?" They just like, "Hey, let's stay in the fun house." I'm like, "Oh, okay. How far are we? 35 minutes. Took you that long." And it takes a little bit longer to get the thing start kicking off, and then once it happens, it's boom, 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 and then, yeah. I don't know. I didn't particularly care for this movie. It's middle of the road for me all the way. But, so what are your thoughts on the Funhouse? Comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Watching. I'm Scotty. I'll see you in the next one.